Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for What If Episode 6 from Season 3, 1872. This is the Old West episode. You've seen it in the trailers, you've seen it in the promo. We're finally going back to the Old West, but there's a lot more to meet than meets the eye in this story. But let's talk about the main story, then we'll talk about how this ties to the more overarching story. So in this episode, we see Shang-Chi team up with Kate Bishop Hawkeye as they first beat up the John Walker U.S. agent's gang, but this is all in the Old West, so he's just a cowboy. He's just John Walker. We do get the original voices. Wyatt Russell voices his character. We actually get to see some really interesting characters on this one that we probably would have never heard of about any other way. That's been probably the highlight of some of this season, that we're actually getting, like, they're digging deep into their own MCU characters. Um, we see that they're looking for information about the Hood, who's been kidnapping railroad workers. Of course, a lot of railroad workers in the Old West were Chinese, so Shang-Chi is trying to figure out what's going on with that, trying to help them out. In the meanwhile, Kate Bishop is out for revenge for her own family, as the Hood uh, killed her family and destroyed everything, pretty much. So we also learned that Xiaoling, Shang-Chi's sister from the movie, you probably remember, was also taken by the Hood, and we find a kid, Jin Wan, I think that's how you say that. Um, and they kind of end up getting on this magic train, which is pretty interesting. My favorite surprise from this, we get to see Sony Birch, and yes, you have to probably Google this character, other than knowing that it's played by Walton Goggins. So Walton Goggins came back to play Sony Birch from the second Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So yeah, like, I don't know, that's one of the villains that I feel was very underrated, underplayed, and they should have taken more of an advantage of having Walton Goggins be part of the MCU. We also finally see that the Watcher has been interfering more and more with some of these worlds that are on the edge. They're worlds that are probably more messed up than most. Although there are some funny iterations. We see a world where Ultron was programmed to be like a show tune singer and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, we finally get to see that they make it past the train. Everybody on the train that's been kidnapped is under some kind of trance, so they're trying to figure that out. In the meanwhile, Shang-Chi finally faces off against the Hood. They have a pretty good fight. The Hood can fight. The Hood can become invisible. So in the comics, the character of the Hood is a mystical character, which does have magic powers. We'll see the character played by Anthony Ramos in the upcoming Ironheart series, but this was not Anthony Ramos, showing off his role. We did see Riri Williams in the past episode, but Anthony Ramos was not the Hood in this one. We actually realized and discovered that it was Zhao Ling, which was kind of a thing. There were, if you watch the film, she kind of became a little bit of an antagonist towards the end. So I was expecting her to maybe be the main villain once all was said and done. But either way, really cool fight. This episode was a little bit dark for me. Like, I wish it hadn't. I know it's the Old West, and there's probably not a lot of sources of natural light, but you also have a magic train next to you. So, like, maybe maybe increase the brightness a little bit. That's my main concern, that because there's some really cool fighting going on, but I can't barely see it for most of the time. Um, Also, Birch has this like, watch that causes hypnosis. He confesses to killing. Well, he doesn't confess. He pretty much rubs it in Kate's face because she is hypnotized. But Jinwan rings the bell, the 10 rings, and pretty much snaps everyone out of the hypnosis. And as Shelling is discovered to be the Hood, she's going to kill Shang-Chi, but Kate stops her. And then we see that she had some scarring in her face, and I think that the wearing the hood takes a toll on its wearer. That's what I'm choosing to believe is implied, because the scars seem to be kind of fading away when the hood comes off. The hood kind of flies away. I don't know if it'll come back, or it'll be just a thing that maybe that's just a hood that lives in that. I don't know. But yeah, after that Saved by the Bell moment, we get to see that at the end, the kid is referred to having an iron fist and maybe a competition for Shang-Chi. I don't know if this is a version of the Iron Fist that I haven't seen from the comics. There's been many Danny Rand's not the only wielder of the Iron Fist. But to close out the episode, and I'm going to refer to as the main watcher as Watu. I don't know if that's his name or not. He just referred to as the watcher. But he finally faces the consequences of interfering. The other three watchers, the Eminence, I forget what they're called, but the main one's called the Eminence, the one voiced by Jason Isaacs, and he throws them into like this glass, and they finally come for him. So I think things are gonna start popping off. I don't even know how next episode is gonna be introduced if the Watcher that we've been following around is not there to tell us a story anymore as the audience. So that'll be interesting. Overall, another interesting episode. This season's been, I think it's been fine. Nothing stood out really like too hardcore. There's been some fun moments, and like I said, they're using characters from like deep in the Marvel lore. So, if you're watching What If season 3, let me know what you think about this episode. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.